All right, you want to get started?
All right, we're gonna stick with Brenda Herrera.
And,
Looks
door
like we have a
threshold
returning
video.
one. Okay, door thresholds. Oh my God, I'm trying to do this with my dog. Would you be able to help me? I would love to help you. What do you need?
Love to help you.
All right, what's some general things that people have issues with? Dogs rushing out.
Wait. Context framing. Jeez. So we did a door threshold video. We've actually done a couple. And you can find those in the IGTV section.
Those are IG Reels.
You can find those in the IG Reel section.
That one was a story.
And then there was also a story. See, we do things all the time.
So she's commenting on a video. So we have stories all the time of all of our dogs leaving all of our doors every time. We make them sit, and then we walk them out the door.
So Brenda, check our reels for specifics, but we'll go through a breakdown for you.
Let me say this too, Brenda. You are looking at a dog that's probably done this a dozen, if not more times already, which is why the door is already open with the little latch down holding it open, and they're walking up, having the dog sit, and then walking out. That's incredibly difficult for a new dog who's not doing it already. How we start all of these dogs off multiple times throughout the day is that door is shut. We're asking them for a sit. We sometimes put our body in front of them, ask for the sit then.
Leash is key.
Everything.
All you puppy people with puppies running around with no leash, get them on leash.
Puppies. Any dog that doesn't do it.
Yeah, but they're all going into their backyard and opening their sliding glass doors and kind of asking for a sit, and then their puppy zooms out. You got to get a leash.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Bethany.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Put your body in front, open the door a few inches, pause, close it, good treat. Do that a couple times, get them acclimated to waiting and watching. Once they're waiting and watching, open the door a little bit more and build your way up to opening the door fully. Let's go, or whatever you need to say to get them out of that door. Don't expect them to follow perfectly, because once you get out, that's like a portal to another universe.
Yeah.
But this will get you going at least.
Sometimes in the beginning, in the early stages, all you can get is a lure right to their nose and then sit, or if you use leash and body language, like the teeter, the body language teeter effect with butt down, leash up, that's fine too, whatever method you're using for sit. And that might be all you get, and then you say, let's go when the door opens. But after a few days of that, you want to add in the blocking, which is where you kind of open the door a couple of inches, and you actually step in front of your puppy, which you'll find on our reels. You'll find the breakdown on how to do that. There's a couple of them that I know of at least. And you actually block your puppy and wait for them to chill, and then give them permission to go out of an open door. That's so key for everything. Your dog should not think that opening the crate door, opening the playpen door, opening the front door, opening the back door, picking up the leash, your dog should not see any of these things as triggers to go. They have to wait for permission. You wonder why your dog gets so reactive and barky at 8 months old at the front door threshold. Well, that's because it's such an exciting thing. And one of the minimal things that you can do is teach your puppy to look at an open door and not go through it. So that's really, really key. And
I like how you said the crate. I think the crate is huge.
They all tie in together. They all tie in together.
It's going to tie into a few of our other questions as well, so I'm glad you mentioned that.
Cool.
Okay, you want anything else?
No, I'm finished.
We're good. Okay. All right, from Stella. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because that would be unfair. I just can't do it.
By the way, Sparky from Toronto, I'm pretty sure is a dog, not a person. I just wanted to point that out.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you a little background how I got my name. Yeah, we're there. We have a lot of spots. So, all right. So, how did Sparky get his name? So my mom told me when I was really young, about 10 or 11 years old. I'm doing it. Let it go. You brought it up. You said the dog thing. She said I was the sparkle of my mom's eye. I later found out they had a dog when they were about 18 years old that they named Sparky. I'm named after an actual literal dog. It's on my birth certificate.
It was written in the stars.
It's there, guys. So now that's out in the open. Marco's laughing, Ricky's laughing, everyone's laughing. Yeah, it's there. But I love it. It truly fit my personality and how we moved into our career.
And what were you gonna do for a living?
Oh, I was actually in school for 7 years to be a doctor.
Hi, Sparky. Hi. Yeah. I'm your doctor named Sparky. I think this is better fit for you.
Yeah, I think we worked it out. So, yep.
Give me
some laughy faces, guys. I get it.
I'm not sure your bedside manner would be the best either for a doctor.
I'd always be smiling. That new smile.
That is not what I mean.
Okay, so Stella, it says number 2 and 3, so I assume we had a question somewhere else.
One. She just numbered them for us.
Thank you, Ricky.
So we don't get confused.
Is it okay when we eat?
Go ahead.
Is it okay when we eat? My dog always staring at us. How can I teach my dog to go to his place?
Okay.
I'm going to let you take this one.
I don't have an age and a breed, shame on you. But let's assume.
Shame her?
I'm sorry, no shame. I'm sorry. But try to fit in age and breed. If we're talking about 5 months old and younger, honestly, we don't have dogs or puppies out when we're eating with puppies that young, because it does build bad habits. When you're cooking in the kitchen, when you set the table and the puppy is coming or staring at you, even if you've taught place command, and they go out of the place, but they're like this the whole time staring at you, it doesn't fuel the best part of the brain. So in the beginning, we like to be preventative until the dogs are mature enough to where, you know, we can work with that more and do more blocking and things like that to help them understand not to care as much. Make sure you're never feeding from the table. Don't let your dog scavenge on the floor. I have a 15-year-old small dog that I let do that when she was younger. And even though I'm a trainer,
She's a food maniac.
She's a food maniac. She's never gotten over it. Not to mention I tried to use food to fix her reactivity issues, which did not go very well. It made her more of a food maniac. But my point is just that those early habits are critical. And so I personally wouldn't allow your puppy to do that. I've never allowed any dog since then to do it. And it's just such an easier time. They're not constantly looking for every little thing that I've dropped like my little dog Happy is. So I would say preventative is best until your puppy is old enough to hold a little bit more accountable, where you can have them go to place in the corner, teach them place to stay, give them a bone or something to chew on. Make sure the kids in the house know the rules to ignore your puppy completely when they have food. In fact, and I'm sure you have something to say, but I want to say this first. One of my favorite things to do with puppies and dogs is to use their own food bowl as well as a plate of my own food and be able to walk around and them not follow me. So how do I do that? So first of all, I prepare the food. If they get into the kitchen, I just walk into them, just make them get back. If I turn my back and walk and they follow me, I turn back towards them, make them get back. This is very much body language based. This is dog language, not people language, so it's not the easiest thing to do. But anyway, I have them give me space while I prepare whatever it is, have them settle. You could say place if you wanted to, or sit her down. Now, I want to be able to walk by them with their own food bowl or with my own plate of food and them not follow me. So if I walk by them and they follow me, I turn and move into them. When they settle, I walk again. This is my favorite thing to do. I've been doing it like crazy for a couple of years now because one of the dogs that we were doing a board and train with, Chris, my husband, walked through with a plate of steaks to the backyard, to the grill. And I was ready. I knew something would happen. I knew this dog was really bad with this kind of thing. And he still managed, he's a big dog, to get up. It was like a 1-year-old Bernese Mountain Dog, huge. Still managed to get up and grab him.
Oh man, you know that dog just had the best day of his life after that steak.
So anyway, this is one of the exercises. I started just kind of looking around and kind of going back to my roots of just dog psychology and what are some things I'm missing. And this was a big thing. Puppies can do it right away. They can learn not to follow you around with food at 8 weeks old. And then you reward them with their food for staying. And place is a really great way to do that. Okay, go. You got anything else?
I want to add on to a few things to yours, and I'm going to go my own version too.
Whatever.
So for Bethany's version, she said, use the threshold of the kitchen, like keep them out of the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It also helps to make that threshold smaller. So even just putting up
an invisible boundary. Because it could be from the island to the fridge, which could be big.
It's your invisible boundary
there you go.
that you're just making a little bit smaller. So make the opening of that invisible boundary, the thing that you have to block, smaller. Yeah. You can use a playpen and only block off half of it.
Oh, so you're trying to help them. I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to make their job a little bit easier.
Oh, okay.
Because what Bethany's doing, she was like,
that is not what I'm doing. That is not what I'm doing.
Bethany wants to dog and just run away. No, I'm just kidding. We're basically making the boundary that she has to block a little bit smaller, so it makes your job at home a little bit easier. My personal preference to this one, I do a lot of like younger puppy training, is I actually crate for the first couple months to just get them used to not being even in the room. That's my preventative.
In a different room. Different room.
That's just my preventative.
When you start cooking. Sorry, I was helping. I was helping you.
Stop helping.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you just crate them in a different room. And then after a few weeks of them getting used to that, then you can start having maybe one person eat a little bit earlier, hold them on place, maybe in a different room, sit on a chair. How we do it in my family is we have a lot of different eating schedules. So when my girlfriend eats, I'd be on the couch with the dogs, having one of them on place or having both of them on place, or vice versa, especially when training new dogs. Even here in our facility, we have constantly dogs eating in their crates. We have other dogs on place with the trainer sitting right next to them, managing them, staying on place while they're watching other dogs eat.
That's a really good point. Don't expect them to just stay and all the family is at the dinner table.
You gotta help them out. You gotta manage.
First of all, back tie them where they can only get about 2 foot from place, but then someone's gonna have to constantly go back and reset them or just stay with them till they get into the habit of staying while the family eats.
And if you back tie them, don't back tie them to the place unless you limit the amount of leash they have to get off. My trick is we use pet cots, so it's like an elevated cot with like a little steel frame with the little hammock thing in the middle.
We like cots for this, yeah.
The cots are just really, really beneficial. And if we were to tie a leash and back tie them to the cot, it would be the part closest to the corner of a wall.
Won't they just take the cot with them?
They can't because their own body weight anchors them down to it. If you only give them 1.5 feet of leash, their own body weight keeps them on the cot. That's what I was saying. If you're going to do it, you got to anchor them to the back side of it. So if they try to come off towards you, they don't have access to. It works incredibly well.
Don't do that.
Okay, then fine. What else are they going to tie it to?
Anchor them to anything else. Anything else that's strong that they can't take with them. Sandbag weight, things
Did you say
like
sandbag weight?
Sandbag. Yeah, I said it right. Sandbag that's weighted. Well, okay, it's the same thing, but
Kettlebell?
a kettlebell.
Jesus, Bethany.
What?
Who the hell puts sandbags in their house?
We have sandbags in our house.
Your husband's literally a personal trainer.
Go buy one, okay?
All right, moving on. That was actually really fun.
Okay, so
I love arguing with Bethany.
I have I want to ask a question on here. Llama says, "Can you please save your live on your page if we miss it?" All of our lives are saved, and they're like the beginning of our annoying banter is usually taken out.
Ricky,
so
you want to tell them how to access it?
I know how to access it. I can tell them. So you go to IGTV, and it'll have part 1 and part 2 of all these lives. And Ricky, our boss, even goes through and she puts down each question and timestamps it for everybody, which is a crazy amount of work.
Nice, Ricky.
But it's so helpful for you guys out there. Okay, cool. You can go.
Okay. I didn't even know that. That was great.
Number 4.
Sergeant family. How long does it usually take to get them to acclimate to the crate and love it at bedtime?
Oh, everyone is different. Every dog, every breed, every age, every family. If you have kids that's spoiling the dog, if you have parents that are spoiling the dog, if you just have a really lively household, just experience that. 4 kids all under the age of 12. Why would the dog ever want to be in crate? Because even though they weren't spoiling this dog, it was just so much fun and stimulation all the time. It can be hard, it can be really difficult. So each dog is different. Then there's their genetics, just basically, do you get a more calm, more balanced puppy versus a more nervy, high-strung, higher drive puppy.
And that might be how they were raised, even with the breeder in the first 6 weeks of life.
That
all of
matters
it plays a role.
That matters a lot. So sorry not to have a significant answer for you. Just hang in there, and we have lots of questions on separation anxiety in our previous lives if that's what you feel like you're going through. Or you could be more specific next week, and we could really break down some options for you for what you're dealing with.
I would say also start crating in the daytime, because if you're getting a lot of barking at night, it's really hard to control barking at night without pulling out your hair in your teeth because the dog's keeping you awake.
Yeah.
Do it in the daytime, get them kind of broken into the crate more that way. So then at nighttime is usually the easiest part for most of our clients. At daytime, when people are moving around, that's where people have the most trouble. So start day, build that up, then do night. Make sure you don't take them out of the crate, even if they are whining and barking. You might just have to move the crate to somewhere farther away, build them up that way. And then, let us know how it goes. Check in a week.
It can be tough. Dark room, cover the crate, white noise machine, or loud fan, radio.
What about Friends?
Friends, well, I know, but not everybody's going to turn their TV on like the Friends loop. A sitcom is great. It's a lot of people talking.
You just do YouTube at this point. Yeah. Okay. Lee Concon, 21.
Lee Concon, 21.
I'm just here to say I tried your tips with the structured sniff.
The structured sniff. Oh, that's the walk where the lady wanted to let her dog sniff, because a lot of trainers say, let your dog experience the world.
Oh.
And we gave advice how not to. Oh, I was alone. I didn't need you for that one.
I don't think I remember that
I didn't
one.
need him for that one. I answered that one by myself.
I'm the mean one that says no stuff. Okay. After one day, my almost 9-month-old Bernese Mountain Dog is starting to figure it out. Obviously, long way to go, but it's incredible how much is picked up in such a short amount of time. Now, if I could just figure out his stubbornness would be gold.
We'd be gold, yeah. Well, I mean, it's part of the breed.
9-month-old too, Bernese Mountain Dog. Yeah, you're out of stage for sure.
It's part of the
big adolescent stage.
So that's awesome, and I will say this. There's one line. I had something in my brain. Let's see. Incredible how much this dog has picked up in a short amount of time. Okay, so your dog at home, and I know I'm not saying that this is easy. It's not what I'm saying. However, for all of you, your dogs at home, everything that they are doing poorly, behaviors that you don't like, they are doing it because it's allowed. Period. At the end of the day, puppies do things that you don't like because it's been allowed. Now, maybe you just need to be more preventative, better management, better schedule. Like, it could be a number of things, but I just want you to keep that in mind. Most dogs are craving the guidance. They're craving to be told what to do in different scenarios, even if they're rebelling against it a little bit. They're craving that. So that's why it feels like, oh my God, my dog's picking this up so quick. It's because they've been craving that leadership. From 0 to, we say this all the time, from 0 to 2 years old or 2.5 years old for larger breed dogs like the Bernese, that's their first 18 years of life in people years. So if you look at it that way, it makes a lot of sense of why they're really, really craving that help, that guidance, that management that they need to function in this world, basically. So
yeah, it's almost like they're stuck in a rut and they're just waiting for you to pull them out of it.
Yes,
they can't do it themselves.
And they show it.
Guidance.
And they show it in so many different ways that they're
ways
frustrated.
That make you not want them to bite you.
All right, Naomi says, Naomi Marie, that's my middle name too. Naomi Marie, I just wanted to chime in and say thank you for all the advice. I've asked a few questions on here and I've seen great progress with your advice. Thank you, Naomi. Brenda says, how can I teach my 5-month-old puppy to walk next to me all the time? Sparky, go!
Oh, you suck. All right.
5 months old to walk next to me all the time.
You a 2-year-old dog. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta start slow. Naomi, I'm sorry. Was it Naomi?
Naomi.
It was Naomi, right?
No, Brenda. This is Brenda.
Brenda. All right. You got to start slow. You got to work inside, outside backyard, outside front yard, and a lot of what we do is just anytime they pull, you got to do something about it. That's bad. I stole it. You got to do something about it. Meaning they pull ahead, you stop, you turn, you walk the opposite way. When they start moving towards you, tell them good. Reward when they get to your side, and then move in the opposite direction. You basically have to be more important than your distractions. There are different things that you can use, like different tools to help get head guidance. You can go over those with other trainers as well. But anytime you're walking your dog, you just got to make sure that you have their focus, and when you lose it, you got to get it back. It takes a long time of doing this before you can actually go outside and get this perfect walk next to you all the time.
Think of it this way. Whatever your puppy wants to do, you want to do the opposite. You want to fluidly counteract where they want to go. So if my puppy wants to go this way, I go the other way. And then I just have to do it again. We get dizzy walking some of these puppies. Yeah. And if you feel like the dog is actually getting amped up by that, which happens to us sometimes, we do turns and the dog gets a little amped up with the boomerang turnaround, I would say build more leverage in other areas, like a firmer block for the front door and for crate, and make sure you're not accidentally getting your puppy amped up at other times.
Oh, also no greeting people or other dogs on walks.
Oh, yeah.
If you do that, then your dog's not even out there to walk with you. They're out there to look for opportunities to greet other people and other dogs. So cut that off.
Yeah, it makes it impossible.
I know a lot of breeders will say, or even other trainers say this too, let them say hi to every dog, get them used to that. They end up probably doing something a little bit more firm with them later on to counteract that.
Yeah.
But we like to start early. We like to be more preventative. We don't want to have to do corrections later on. We want them to understand right off the bat what we want, what the type of focus that we're looking on from them.
It's quality over quantity. We can blame that on a really amazing trainer, Ian Dunbar. He's an amazing trainer to look up. He is the positive reinforcement guru. He's just a wonderful man and a wonderful person to learn from. However, where that stigma comes from, or stigma, that's not the right word, but where that comes from of the, meet 100 people and as many dogs as possible in the first month that you get your puppy, where that comes from is the idea of socializing them, but what he doesn't lay out, or maybe just what has gotten lost in translation, I'm not sure. It might have just gotten lost in translation, is the quality over quantity also matters, and the fact that you don't want to do that out on a walk. This is controlled scenarios. Maybe you're sitting, at some local coffee shop and some people come up and it's a controlled interaction, or people come over to the house with their dog that's okay with puppies. It needs to be controlled interactions, not a free-for-all on a walk. I have a really, really friendly German Shepherd. She's 4 years old now, and I can never let her greet anyone in our neighborhood, because I swear I let her greet one person and she starts looking, just the one person I get a little lax on, and she'll start looking for her next meal ticket to be pet, because she's so social. She's like some...
That's how our pity is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she's some wiggly little needy pitty, and that's how she is. So when we travel, it's different. I'm much more lax, but when we're local, she doesn't get to say hi to anything, and it makes her a dream to walk. And she wants to actually be with me. She's not seeking out attention from others. So that's another tip. And
none of this pulling towards people.
Yeah, exactly. And here, just to bounce off that last question, Sparky from Toronto, the dog, not the human, 9-month-old Goldendoodle. Ooh, that's a tough age for Goldendoodles. Doesn't pull during his regular walks, but he pulls a lot when we're on a trail or walk at any new place when we go out. That's really common. His senses get the best of him. He's overwhelmed, and he's a happy-go-lucky doodle, so his confidence is all over the place. Honestly, when I give advice to people about going to a coffee shop, going to a trail with their really young dog, the first several times you go is not for you and your exercise and your enjoyment, it's for training. And so all the training that you did on the walk that he's now good with in your neighborhood, you now have to do in different locations.
I also like to use, so I do a lot of trail training, trail walking, things like that, and do a lot of surface animal existence work. I start with the short 6-foot leash, up and down, back and forth, and I kind of let them hit the end of it. I bring them back, hit the end of it, bring them back. I build what I call a bubble mentality, which is they learn how to exist in my bubble, and then I take that 6 foot, I turn it into 20 foot, and I can always make a 20 foot into 10, 5, 15, whatever number I need, then I start creating that bigger bubble. So if you're doing a lot of trails, they learn how to exist around you and frequently check in with you. And if you're doing it out there, if you're using like a harness or like even like a martingale or something that gives you control of the head, give them a treat when they come back and check in with you. So you're positively reinforcing that check-in mentality, and the next time they see a little bird,
calmly. You're not like, yay, just good job, buddy, food.
Treat, and then maybe keep walking. And that next time that you see a badger or a squirrel, whatever it is.
A badger? How many badgers do you see in LA?
I'm reading a book. It had badgers the first.
This is Toronto? How many badgers y'all got up there in Toronto?
How big is a badger?
Badgers are
different
big.
Different question. Okay. When the next time you see a wild animal, you might have a split second and be like, hey, Sparky. God, it feels weird saying that. Hey, Sparky, come, good, and call him back to you, good treat, and then cinch up your leash, move a different direction. That felt so weird.
If I get a dog and name him Sparky, are you gonna be mad?
I've actually trained another Sparky.
Oh my God,
and the woman would talk to me
weird.
like, Sparky, I love you, so good, you're so...
So weird.
And I was training the woman while she was training the dog and talking lovingly to Sparky.
So weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I had something to say.
You lost
it. But I lost it. I'm sure it was brilliant. Let me think for a second.
It almost felt uncomfortable a little bit.
So weird. Okay. So you're out on the trail, you're doing your thing, oh, I know what I wanted to say. So this is not to be mean to anybody, but...
If you gotta start it that way,
disclaimer. This is not to be mean to anybody, but I do want to remind you guys out there that I don't think most owners realize the amount of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions it takes. I was trying to be nice.
Stop being nice. It's actually thousands. Usually 2,000 to 3,000.
Repetitions, he's right. Repetitions it takes to create muscle memory, to create that neuro pathway groove in the brain. Thousands of repetitions. And I don't say that to discourage anyone. I say that for you to have a bit of a reality check a bit of an expectations check with your dog at home. So anyway,
I think that's great. No one really tells you that. Most trainers won't tell you that because they don't want to scare you away.
It's discouraging.
We've had you guys. We've had you for how many weeks now? Sorry, give me a second. We've had you for 27 weeks.
The gloves are off.
We feel close with you guys now. We're gonna tell you the truth. But it does take that long. You can use meals and save that meal for like your hike and use the meal to work your dog through it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Mary Berry says our 9-month-old Irish Doodle, I'm gonna have to look that up, recently in the past month or two went, did you see, okay, all right.
Read the question.
Listen to this. Recently went from being super loving of everybody and all new people to now barking at any noise, any stranger. We see it on walks, anyone that's outside the window.
Welcome to teenagerhood.
Welcome to teenagerhood.
And she has a follow-up a little further down.
Okay, follow-up is we've tried a lot of what you've recommended about managing the barking, but it feels like he's just getting more and more reactive. All right, Mary, I'm going to tell you why. Because this, I'm just going to be honest with you, this show is really geared to dogs under 6 months old. It really is. You have reached, something that nobody tells you, that males especially, male dogs around this age, they kind of come across a bit of an aggressive streak, and their instincts, their hormones, I mean, the females do it too, but I do tend to see it.
Males more, territorialism kicks in.
Yeah, it seems to be more intense with males sometimes, but anyway, it's a really common thing. It doesn't mean it's a good thing, it doesn't mean you just let it happen, it's actually the opposite. You have to teach your dog how to live with you, but anyway, the show is really geared more for dogs 6 months and younger. You really need to find someone who talks about how to train dogs, because whether anybody likes it or not, their sweet little doodle, once they hit 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months old, they are no longer puppies. I know they kind of get stuck in the puppy category, but the way Sparky and I would treat a 9-month-old is night and day different than a 4 or 5-month-old. And we have to be careful on the show about, just to be honest, about the advice that we give, because the vast majority of people that are on here for puppy issues, not adolescent reactive dog issues. So my personal opinion is, when it comes to stuff like this, is that you have to find a way to get in front of the barking. You have to put out the fire before you can do any counter conditioning or teaching what you want your puppy to do. And Sparky's in the same camp as me, but we can't go through all those steps of how to do that. It would be a completely different type of show. So I'd love to see you on here, Mary, and I'm happy. There's lots of advice we give can be really helpful to 9-month-old dogs, but once you get into that reactivity sector, you need a different type of help.
And we're basically telling you that you should honestly seek out professional help, like another dog trainer.
Yeah.
However, let's give you some keywords to look for, because if you look up dog training, you might get a puppy training, you might get positive reinforcement only, you might get certain things. What I would say your keyword to look for is behavior modification. You're getting a dog barking and showing some kind of reactivity. I don't know if it's aggression, it could just be even fear, and he's popping off because of that fear. But you need someone that's going to help you modify that behavior and kind of bring him back to reality that he's a follower to you and not the leader of the pack. Behavioral
modification, balance training, holistic training, that's the new kind of buzzword that a lot of great trainers are using to not always say balance training. Those are some terms that might help you as far as looking for help out there.
Hey guys, we didn't answer a single question from TikTok. I know we're done, but I just want to answer one. I just want one from TikTok.
Quick, how can I stop my 6-month lab puppy from counter surfing?
Oh, well, 6-month-old lab, that's getting into the adolescence. It's like you got to do something to kind of startle the pup out of it.
I like to do little hip checks, little bumps.
Well, if you're in the room, in the room. But if you're trying to create a scenario where they respect the counter, you have to do something that makes them not want to go to the counter. And you can kind of do a Google search on that and find some rather odd and creative ways to do that. Like, I've heard of like popping scat mats. He likes scat mats. I've heard of like popping balloons every time they go to sniff the counter. Personally, I like working the dog on leash in the home, where I go by the trash can, 6-month-old dog, assuming that they're trained on leash and they understand leash pressure, they nose up to the counter or the trash can, pop no, keep moving, or body language, things like that. You have to set a boundary in some way that counter does not belong to him. Labs, they get ripped apart, 25, $3,000 for ingesting things. So you do what you got to do to stop that
If they
and
have
make that a
access to
boundary.
get to it, though,
They'll
you can't
always
stop
do
them
it.
from doing it.
Yep.
So you have to have some kind of really strong
Management.
boundary to do it.
Management, yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you same time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday.